Okay, everybody, kale's such a big deal. Everybody's eating kale. I love this sort of the black kale, the dinosaur kale. To me, this is my favorite kind of kale. I make a lot of kale salads with this in my restaurants, but also at home. I use tons of this. You know, kale's a very, very hearty green, meaning like you could eat it raw, but if you eat it raw, a good idea is to really chop it very finely so you're not crunching all day long. What you want to do is take the stems out and keep the leaves. You can also utilize the stems to make some other things as well. You know, why not utilize everything you possibly can? We're gonna make a kale stem pesto. Might as well use the kale stems, but like I'm not gonna just go all kale stems. I'm just gonna take a few of the leaves of the kale as well. Not many, it's gonna be mostly the stems. But I just want a little bit of the leaves just to kind of help it along a little bit. And we're gonna blanch it in some water to bring out some of the chlorophyll so it gets nice and green, and it just softens it a tiny bit. So we have some salted water here, we're just gonna blanch it. You can see how green it gets almost immediately. And it's also just gonna beat up the stems and the leaves just to kind of soften it. You know, classically you'd make like a basil pesto, and of course the leaves of basil leaves, they're incredibly tender. You know, this is a much more hearty green, as I like to say. And then we're going to throw this in some iced water to stop it from cooking. You want to keep that nice green color. That's the other thing that it does. It really brings out beautiful color to the stems and to the leaves themselves. So just let those cool down for a second. And then we have some fresh basil leaves I'm gonna chop up. I'm gonna add that to the pesto. I'm gonna use pistachios today because that's what I have. I love the sweetness of pistachios. If you ever watch my shows, you'll know that pistachios are definitely a go-to thing for me. Usually it's like pistachio gelato, but I also like pistachios in my pesto. This is a really good lesson in utilizing what you have. In this case, we're using the stems and a few leaves from the kale. Like in my cupboard, like I have pistachios, but you could use almonds or you could use pine nuts, which are classic for pestos. Even like pecans, walnuts, they work too. That would be like my third or fourth pick. I would say almonds, pistachios, pine nuts first, and then whatever else you have, it works nicely as well. In terms of herbs, I have some fresh basil in there. I love the flavor of basil. I think it's great in pesto. Some Parmigiano-Reggiano. If you only have like pecorino or even like cotija cheese, on the off chance that that's what you have in your refrigerator, like a dried salty cheese, that works really nicely. And then some salt and pepper. Now you can use this pesto, you see it mostly in pastas, right? Like a pesto, and pasta together. It's a very classic from Genoa in Italy. That's the classic pesto birthplace. And so you can use it in pasta, of course. You can use it in like rice dishes, like risotto, for instance, or even just like a crispy rice dish or something like that, just kind of, fold it in. But also you can use pesto as like a dollop for grilled or roasted vegetables or grilled or roasted fish, chicken, pork. I mean, this really works so nicely. So let's make it. Enough talk, let's go. So I'm gonna take our blanched kale stems, strain it out, get all the water content out of there. So now you have the blanched kale stems in here, and then we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. Some fresh basil, some Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese, grated parm, some of the pistachios, fresh parsley, some salt and pepper. And then we're gonna start our food processor. And then as it's running, we're gonna add some olive oil. So it emulsifies. Oh my God, so good. I mean, look at that. That's like free flavor right there. I'm gonna make some pasta right now. Let's do it. Kale stem pesto. So all you kale stem pesto fans out there, get at it.